Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Hey guys, welcome to Monday's radio show. Wow. And it's fortuitous that you guys decided to join us today because the results are in. That's right. The calculations, we've had some scientists, some mathematicians. We've had them at work for a while now, and they've been conducting, studies and calculations, and they have calculated the power factor for Student of the Gun Radio, and we have been rated as major. So I thought you guys would be excited to hear that. So the calculations have been completed. The power factor has been determined, and Student of the Gun Radio is now major.
And those calculations were not done by Jared's brain before coffee.
No.
Those of you that are in the grad program would probably love to open up a savings account with my math from Friday.
Or
maybe that was Thursday.
Thursday?
Remember
Thursday?
I did the savings account math?
Oh, yeah. Like if I put in $1,000 at 2%
it's like
interest,
2 years later, I got $1,500.
$2,500. No, almost, but not quite. Oh no! Ooh, somebody's using the Snapseed filter. Somebody did a pocket dump and used the Snapseed filter. All right, for those of you that don't know, is the Snapseed filter not the coolest thing like in the history of ever? It is. It's cool.
So I was looking for
CJ.
a picture of you and John Hollister last night, and I could not find one.
Oh, me and the shipping, not shipping, the Silencer Ninja?
Yeah.
The Silencer Ninja?
It's like non-existent. And
Wow.
I know they exist somewhere, but where?
That's messed up. That's messed up. There should be one. John Hollister, is there a picture of you and I together somewhere? Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe you guys can help us find out. But let me see. Back to the show notes. What I've got. Did you guys know that there's a constitutional carry movement afoot in the state of Indiana? Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. Well, maybe some of you guys did. All of you up in the Northeast who were freezing your butts off, you knew that there was a constitutional carry movement up there in Indiana. And thank you to everybody in our audience. We actually had a Student of the Gun grad program member hip us to that fact about what's going on up there. And we're going to talk about that on Thursday's episode. We're going to get into it in great detail then. But today, we're going to talk about stupid human tricks. But before we do that, I want you guys to remember, if you are listening to me in the Republic of Texas, if you are anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I know that there's, how many people up there? A bajillion. You know how I know there's a bajillion people in the DFW area? Because about every 6 months, I have to drive through that area.
Yeah.
And there's too many people.
I'm just going to buy a helicopter. How about
and
that?
fly over. You should be able to like park your car and have a sky hook, the sky crane, pick you up and take you over to the other side. That's our big, when we travel to the west, that's our big I guess stumbling point. You know, you make really great time cruising through Louisiana, and you cruise across from East Texas, and you're making really good time, and you hit the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But if you are one of the bajillion people who's listening to me right now and lives in the greater DFW area, well, good for you, because, well, my friend Shane Iverson, who is the CEO, the head dude of CSAT MTT, Combat Shooting and Tactics Mobile Training Team. They are doing classes. And in the show notes for today's show, what we did was we went ahead and dropped in their training calendar. And if you are, they have a range, I'm not 100% sure of it's south of Dallas. And they have a range there, and they're holding tactical pistol classes and rifle classes. And Shane was telling me that they're going to be doing a TAC medicine class. So if you're interested in that, and you're in Texas and you only want to drive, I guess if you only want to drive an hour from Keller or Fort Worth to South Dallas, how long does it take to drive from North Fort Worth down to South Dallas? Like 45 minutes? Here, we could be across like the other side of the state. In 45 minutes, I could be almost to Alabama from here, but in the DFW area, not so much. They're never going to finish the construction up there. But
I think that in 45 minutes we could be into Alabama because 41
no,
plus,
if we didn't stop and get gas.
Yeah, so there's 75 exits.
Yeah, we probably could because it's
69
it's
is
an
the big
hour
exit.
to Mobile.
Yeah.
But Mobile is,
exit 20.
Obviously farther into.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in 45 minutes, we would be legitimately. Well, we could also be in Louisiana, too. So there you go. All right, but make sure if you are in the DFW area and you're looking for training, go to CSAT MTT Mobile Training Team. Check it out. They've got classes available. I know that their calendar's open because I just looked, and I put the link to the calendar in there. All right, well, it is Monday, and because it's Monday, it is our want and desire to give you a SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week question. And if you would like to be the Warrior of the Week, you can do that because this is America or the world. Have we had anybody call long distance from like Kazakhstan or South Africa?
It doesn't tell me the location.
Oh, okay. All right. But you can get a free bottle of 9mm plus P thanks to our good friends at SWAT Fuel if you are the Warrior of the Week and if you hear your own voice on my radio show. Now, Jared, if the person who's listening now hears their own voice, what should they do to claim their free plus P?
You should definitely email Alex, ALEX, at studentofthegun.com. Send her your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and include your email address typed into the body as well.
Hello. Got a question for Professor Paul Michael. So I listened to that podcast 530 shooters versus gun culture, and I have a from my opinion, legit question. So what if you find yourself at the courthouse, going to perform your jury duty, and you armed, and there you go, it's a couple of sheriffs and metal detector. I just, my butt hurt a little bit, but I guess it's it's a good sign because, hey, I learned something. But at the same time, if Professor Poe, would be, so kind to address it, that would be nice because I'm a little bit confused. Anyway, my name is Tim, and thanks for what you guys doing, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, yes, we did talk about the allowed versus able. Now, before I progress, I wanted to remind everyone out there in the Student of the Gun listening audience that if you were not the winner of the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week contest, if you did not call in, that's okay. You can still go to swatfuelstore.com and use the promo code SOTG2015 so you can have a stronger body and a sharper mind for the year 2017. Now, as to the question, I talked about in 5:30, we talked about allowed versus able and the metal detector mentality, and not so much the use of metal detectors in government facilities, although that is a problem, but in private facilities like airports. You guys know that airports are actually privately owned, right? And that airlines like American Airlines and Delta and all that they're not owned. Delta Airlines and American Airlines, they're not owned by the federal government. Now, they're subsidized by you, but they're not owned by them. And airports, in general, airports are municipal or not. I'm sorry, not municipal. Municipal means they're city, but they're privately run, right? And they're supposed to be for profit. And then you have things such as, sporting events or concerts or what have you, when they want you to walk through metal detectors, they want you to submit to searches, they want you to open your purses, and they want to run things, metal detectors up and down you. And I said, what's important? Should you be armed? Or is it more important for you to go see that concert and be disarmed? Or is it more important for you to stay armed? Now, to the question from Tim, What about jury duty? I go to the courthouse and the two sheriff's deputies make me, I'm there for jury duty, and I have to disarm myself for jury duty. Yes, you do. Right now, there's not getting around that because it's a government building, it's a controlled building. And it's kind of like going to visit someone in jail or in prison. They're going to make you submit to search. Now, is it important for you to do jury duty? Absolutely, it is. Now, this is where liberty and constitutionality kind of come to a crossroads with being an armed citizen. Now, do I believe that American citizens, genuine, bona fide, card-carrying American citizens should be armed? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I also understand that there is another civic duty. In addition to being an armed citizen and being prepared to take care of yourself and your family, there's another duty that citizens must and should undertake. And part of your civic duty is being available. It's not just voting. Everybody, you guys know that when you register to vote, that's how they draw the jury pool, right? From the voter records. Jared, you knew that, right? I have a feeling that a lot of our audience went to public school in the last 20 years, and they're like, how the jury people get my name? I've never been to court. How'd they get my name? Are you registered to vote? Well, yeah, when I went down and got my driver's license, I did. Okay, well then when you're registered to vote, that puts you into the jury pool of the geographic area where you live. And that's how you get those letters telling you, hey, it's time to come down for jury duty. If you are an American constitutionalist, if you believe in civic duty and representative republicanism, in this grand experiment in self-government, you absolutely should be getting yourself onto a jury. Instead of trying to get out of it, you should be trying to get onto it. If you're listening to me right now, if you're a dedicated listener to Student of the Gun, part of your civic duty is participating in the process. And you sit out there and you write Facebook comments and you write posts on blogs and you talk about the government this and this law is bullcrap and this is bullcrap. And so, do you know something? Let me let you in on a little secret here. If you believe that certain firearms prohibitions, firearms restrictions, laws prohibiting people from being armed are wrong and unconstitutional, and yet they still exist. Let's say you live in one of these glorious people's republics like Massachusetts or New Jersey or California or whatever, and they have all these restrictions against the liberties of the people. You think it's wrong. You know how you can make it right, or at least right in a small way? Get your butt onto a jury. And I almost can guarantee you that if you are a regular listener to Student of the Gun, you are an intelligent person. You're probably going to be more intelligent than the majority of the jury pool, and you can become a jury foreman. Not only can you get on the jury and cast your own vote, but you can get on the jury, become a jury foreman, and positively influence other people. Think about that for a second. You have the opportunity to get onto a jury, do your civic duty as a free man, and positively influence the thinking and the behavior of 11 other individuals. And if you think a law is super jacked up, right? You think that's bullcrap. The state senators and congressmen and the governor had no authority, no constitutional authority to put that law into place, but they did it anyway. There's this thing called jury nullification. You guys understand that when there's a jury, when the jury hears the charges, the jury does not have to convict. Doesn't matter what the judge says. The judge can't force the jury to convict you. Do you guys get that? You understand that? Now, the judge will advise and consent, and they act as like the referee. But in a jury trial, you are the peers of the accused. And let's say you think the prohibition against carrying a concealed firearm as a citizen is wrong, and that people should not have to seek permission from the king. All right? And you find yourself on a jury where the accused, where their charge, their crime, their violation is carrying a concealed weapon, not committing armed robbery, not committing rape or arson or theft or what burglary, but their charge was they got pulled over by the local constabulary, and the local constabulary executed a warrantless search and found a gun on them and decided, ha! This is New Jersey we're talking about. This is Massachusetts we're talking about. This is Illinois we're talking about. This, all the people's republics. And so the fuzz decides they pulled him over for going 37 in a 35 or 42 in a 35 or whatever. And they said, we're going to search your car. And you said, no, I don't give you consent. And he said, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And he finds a gun. He's like, aha, I'm charging you. And you say, well, that guy's boned, right? Well, he's not boned if he has a jury of his peers that say, you know what? This prohibition is bullcrap, and we as the jury are going to find them not guilty. And do you know what? If you find them not guilty, Jared, you know what double jeopardy is? Do you know there's a prohibition against it?
Yeah.
Meaning you cannot be charged with the same crime twice. You cannot be tried twice for the same commission of the same crime. Because not everywhere in the world is that the case. And it wasn't the case. And so in the Constitution it says, if they charge you with a crime and the jury finds you not guilty, they can't say, okay, thanks, jury, bye. And then tomorrow go out and recharge you and get a new jury and retry you until they get the result that the state wants. You have the opportunity as a citizen to make a positive difference on a jury. Now, does that mean that you might have to park your gun in a locked box while you go and sit in the jury chambers? Yeah, it might. But what is a gun, Jared? And when it comes to being a student of the gun, what is our definition of a firearm?
It's first and foremost an instrument of liberty.
Exactly. It's an instrument of liberty. And part of your exercise – now, do I think it's a great idea? No. Let's not argue about that right now. But is it important for you to exercise civic duty and be a member of a jury and maybe positively be an intelligent force on that jury? Yeah, it is. So in that situation, I would say, you know what? Park your gun. Let the sheriff's deputy be your personal bodyguard, and get in there and do your civic duty and do a good thing.
So you could still get your med kit through, I assume. Well, I've never had to go through a. Well,
I mean, they'll probably like find it and they'll like, why is this? And that's when you tell them, you say, I have a
you could probably do a flashlight and a med kit and just the basic stuff.
A flashlight, med kit, and things that don't rust.
Yeah, there are things that you could take in there with you.
It's funny. It's somebody who looks strikingly like me just addressed all those things in the Tactical Tuner newsletter for the grad program. And if you're a member of the grad program, you're like, huh? You're already sitting. Grad program members are sitting in their chairs and they're nodding. They're like, Paul's already talked about this. And we know about it because he wrote a very detailed newsletter. And we all read it. Now, if you're out there and you didn't, well, sorry for you, but
you can do that.
You
now.
didn't get it.
If you are a part of the grad program, just log into your account on studentofthegunradio.com, and you'll be taken to your homepage. And the first Tactical Tutor issue, the most recent one, is there. If you're not a grad program member, then you can go to studentofthegunradio.com and click the button, become a grad program member, and you instantly get access to not only that Tactical Tutor newsletter, but every single one that's ever been produced.
Yeah, so don't feel bad if you missed out. You're like, oh man, well, I'm just boned. I can't. I'll have to wait until next month. No, actually, if you missed out, you can join the grad program and you can get access to previous copies of the Student of the Gun. So the Tactical Tutor newsletter. All right, kids, thank you, and thank you to Tim for being our Warrior of the Week.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right. So here we are. We find ourselves on this journey of enlightenment. And let's talk about carrying guns. And if you'd like to carry a gun, you might want to go over to Crossbreed Holsters because they can help you carry a gun. They can help you do it right if you want to do it right. If that is your want and desire is to carry a gun comfortably all the time, well, go to Crossbreed and they can help you out. Frog Lube, it's green, it's minty fresh, it's a bio-based firearms lubricant. What's bio-based mean? I don't understand all these words you're saying. I'm a Google SEO genius, and I don't understand what bio-based means. It means it's non-petroleum. So it's like not oil? Like not made of oil that you get out of the ground? Yeah, it's a non-petroleum product. Is that good? I don't know. Ask the Department of Defense. They're the ones who put the request in. Oh, okay. That was my Google, my UCLA Google grad. Do you guys know that Google defines fascism as extreme right-wing political tendencies? Google is not as smart as it thinks it is. It really isn't. But if you want some frog lube for your guns...
Yeah, it says... an authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization.
And?
In general use, extreme extreme right-wing authoritarian or intolerant views or practice.
Yep. Yeah,
it's interesting.
Notice how they threw that in practice, or what did he say, in general use. What does that mean? So all the dunderheads of America use it wrong, so that makes it right. That's Google today.
And that pulls it from Wikipedia, so who knows who actually wrote that.
Mm-hmm. But if you'd like to lube up your guns in a non-fascist way, and like free men do, you can go ahead and put frog lube on them, because it is extreme! Do you know that frog lube extreme can be used all the way down to -40? So all you guys that are in the Arctic tundra with your guns and you're worried about you're in the tundra, or maybe you're in Antarctica playing with the penguins and you're worried about your gat freezing up, you can use Frog Loop Extreme and it'll be okay. You know what's frog lubed on my hip right now, Jared?
Your holster. Your Crossbreed holster.
No,
you don't frog lube that?
No, I don't frog lube my holster.
I'm going to guess your TP9 SF Elite.
Yeah, that's right. My TP9 SF Elite, the compact version of the full-size gun, it has frog lube on it, and it is in my holster, and I got it from Century Arms. And you can, too. Oh,
if you guys have been paying attention to, I believe it's the Facebook page. Did I post any on Instagram? The videos and stuff from where
No,
we're
you just did it on the
right
Facebook
now.
page.
Okay, yeah. So the Facebook page, we're editing some of the Century Arms TP9 stuff, and there's some short clips on video clips on the Facebook page.
You got any clips? Yeah, you got any clips? Yeah, got some clips. It's on the F book. Yeah. The F book. The F book has been effing up here lately. It's been like super crazy effing up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know at all. But anyway, if you guys want to check that stuff out, yeah, we had Jacob, and I think you guys, most of you probably know it, but we had Jacob from Century Arms come in. We did a whole bunch of filming, talked about the pistols and rifles, and so that footage is being edited now. So pay close attention. We are going to release it in the very near future, and you're going to want to see it because, well, it's got us in it, right? So, why would you not want to? But if you're looking for a 100% made in the USA AK, you can go to centuryarms.com. And if you're looking for a Canic pistol and 9mm, oh, dude, Jared, did you see that the SAs? There were some online retailer was blowing them out for like less than $350.
The essays?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
For TP9 essays, I think there were less than 320. I mean, you have to have it ordered and you have to have it shipped to your local FFL guy near you and pay him like a $30 transfer or something like that. But still, dudes, that's insane. That is a whole lot of gun for not very much money. Those are too cheap. They're too inexpensive. People are getting spoiled. But check those guys out anyway. Duracoat, why? Because, well, life is too short to have an ugly gun. Let's face it, it is. And you don't want to have an ugly gun. I don't want to have an ugly gun. And the way you can not have an ugly gun is by going to lauerweaponry.com and you checking those guys out. And it is February, so it's a great time for you to go to lauerweaponry.com and pick yourself up a can of slightly darker black, or maybe two even. If you're feeling froggy, you can get a couple of them. Or you can get slightly darker black and some OD green, or you can do crazy colors. I mean, you can do a red black, an orange black, a yellow black. You can do whatever you want, man. You're an American. You want pink guns? You can make them pink. You want them shiny? You can make them shiny. You want them not shiny? You want like super ultra flat? They've got that too. So essentially, what Duracoat did is they made it impossible for you to not have the color you want. So the only reason you would not have the color you want is because you made the conscious decision to carry an ugly gun. And you are an American and you can do that if you want. But if you want to get Duracoat products, you can get them from Lauer Weaponry. Or you can go to Brownells. Now, if you go over to Brownells, you can get Duracoat products. You can get Frog Lube products. You can get Century Arm products. Matter of fact, Jared, I was just on the Brownells website yesterday because I get the newsletter. I get the regular updates from Brownells.com. And when they put on sales, like for instance, they were doing sales of actual, genuine firearms. And you know what they had on sale yesterday, Jared?
What?
The RAS-47 from Century.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So if you guys are looking for actual, genuine, no-kidding firearms or pieces or parts or components or lubrication or optics or whatever, you go to brownells.com. Just check them out. All right. Stupid human tricks. Why did Paul write the Tactical Masturbation article? Well, if you read the article, you know my top three, and those are just like three off the top of my head. There's way more than that. And the funny thing about it is when I put that article out, you know what happened, Jared. I started getting notes.
Oh, yeah.
I started getting texts from friends. And EJ wrote me, he goes, do you have part 2 and part 3 ready yet? And my friend Doug Hunter, he wrote me and he said, he goes, well, don't forget about the guys with the level 47 security holsters who step up to the line and have all of the security features deactivated and disarmed before the bell goes off, before the beep, because it takes a long time to defeat all those security measures. I won't have a good time on my qualification if I have to take the time. If I have a Safari Land level 4 holster, I don't have time to do all that stuff. Yeah, so I got to. And you say, all right, bull crap, Paul. That isn't true. Ho, 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 ho. Brothers and sisters, I have been there. I have witnessed police officers stepping up to the qualification line and kind of doing the glance left, glance right, reaching down and undoing the snaps and straps and so forth on their holsters so they could get it out of the holster faster.
Oh, you said undoing snaps and straps, and I was thinking boobs.
No.
Okay.
When all you guys who are hip cats and who've been with us for quite a while, you know that the main reason that Paul G. Markle arrived in southern Mississippi in the Gulfport, Biloxi area is because I started working 10 years ago on a contract as a military contractor to teach small arms and tactics to surface warfare Navy people. Not SEALs, calm down, but SEALs are not the only surface warfare people. You have people like Seabees, and you have the boat teams, and you have the chaplain's assistants, and you have the divers. Anyway, so the U.S. Navy personnel who wear green camouflage uniforms or desert uniforms and perform activities on the ground, because there's a lot of Navy people that actually aren't on ships. I know that's weird, but it's true. And You know, when you're new on a contract, you know, they kind of like just ease you in. And so for the first week or two, we civilian contractors, military contractors, and we're all, the funny thing is people say, well, civilian contractors, what do they know about it? Well, what they know about it is that everyone on the contract was some type of military person. I worked with guys who were Marine Corps. We had Force Recon guys. We had former SEALs. I had former Air Force combat controllers, U.S. Army Special Forces guys, Rangers, and of course my hat was I was a Marine, United States Marine. So all the military contractors, they weren't just like bubbas sitting around on their couch like, you know what, I bet I could teach a military thing or two. No, these were actually people who were no longer active duty. And that's that's the pool that they draw from. Unfortunately, most of America seems to not know that. You notice that, Jared? They're like, what do these contractors think they can tell the military? You're like, well, that contractor spent 12 years in the Special Forces, or that contractor retired from the Marine Corps, or that contractor over there was on SEAL Team 2. So that's what that civilian military contractor knows, just so you know. But in the observation stage, when we first got there, the Navy said, we're going to do quals. We're going to do our pistol qualification for our troops because these guys are getting ready to go deploy overseas. And so one of the little check blocks on the list is before they deploy, they have to qualify with a rifle and a handgun. So we're like, okay, we'll go out and we'll see how you guys do this. So the chief in charge, and that's not like, chief, that's like Navy chief, chief petty officer. The chief petty officer in charge, he gets everybody out there, and you got the coaches with their red hats online. He's got the students. They tell them, they get them online 3 yards away from their target or whatever it was. And he said, okay, go ahead and take the time to get ready, prepare yourself. And they all reached down and undid the security straps on their holsters because they all had Beretta M9s. And I looked at the guy next to me and, like, is this dude having them, like, defeat the security features on the holsters before they begin? And he looked at me, he's like, yeah. So they went through the rigmarole, and I, kind of sauntered over, and I asked the chief, not that one. I asked the chief, I was like, is it standard procedure for the students, the people qualifying to deactivate the security features on their holsters before they start qualifying? And he looked at me like I was stupid. He's like, yeah, because they only have a short amount of time to get the gun out of the holster, and we need to make sure everybody qualifies. Oh, well, okay. Now that I understand the meaning. And so as one of the things they had us do as contractors is we had to all go through the Navy's course. We had to go through the pistol qual course. We had to go through the rifle course. And we were up there, and I was, and it was all contractors. It was all military guys online. And I stepped up, and they're like, okay, shooter, stand by. And the coach came up to me, and he goes, hey, you can deactivate you can take the straps off your holster there before we start. You should loosen it. And I looked at him, I was like, no, I'm okay. I think I can handle it. I think I can handle breaking the thumb snap on this holster. I'm pretty sure. And you say, well, come on, Paul, that's just one incident. No. How many people in your sphere of influence, how many times have you gone to a public range and a guy's got a handgun and it has some form of either decocking mechanism or manual safety mechanism or whatever on the gun? So it's not a G-lock and it's not an M&P and it's not a Canic. It's a something else. A Beretta, an old model Smith & Wesson, a SIG with a side-mounted decocker, a 1911 with a thumb safety, whatever. And you just kind of like take a look and you see the guy and he takes his magazines and loads them in the thing and he jacks the slide and he never activates any kind of safeties or decockers, and he's like, empty magazine, drops that one, gets a new one, puts it in, and 100 rounds later, that guy just, he fired 100 rounds, never once activated the safety mechanism or the decocker mechanism or whatever on the gun. Because why? Because that slows them down, because that takes time. But here's what they do. What do, Jared? They take that gun, then they get the killer ammo that they've set aside, and they get the magazine with killer ammo, and they put it in there, and they run the gun, and then they decock it, or they put the safety on or whatever, and then they holster it up, and then they walk out. Because they're good to go now. Because you say, well, why did you do that? And if you would ask them, why did you do that? Well, it's safe. It's safer that way. When it's in the holster, I need to make sure that the safety's on, that it's decocked, and, it's like I said. But, dude, you just shot 100 rounds, and never one time did you practice deactivating the safety. What's your point? Exactly. What is my point? What is my point? My point is that we, as gun people, that we perform, we miss the point. Now, like I said in the video that we did, and Jared, I'm assuming that that video is going to accompany the show notes so that everybody can watch it if they want to. If owning a gun and having a gun is just an exercise in self-gratification for you, if that's the only reason you have it is just for funsies, if it's not an instrument of liberty, if it's not a defensive tool, it's not something you're going to want to use to save your life with, if it's just a play toy, then disregard everything I said. If you want to dance and do pirouettes, I mean, dude, if you want to perform the entire Nutcracker suite from beginning to end with your G-Lock or your I need to give some love to the XD owners in the world. If you want to do the entire Nutcracker suite with your XD, go crazy. Do whatever you want to do. But folks, if you want to be efficient and effective in the use of arms, if you want to be able to carry it around and then, all covered up with clothing and jackets and T-shirts and stuff like that, and then when the balloon goes up, when the villain appears, when the boogeyman, rears his ugly head, if you expect to be able to skin that thing out, remove, take off whatever safety happens to be on it, and effectively put bullets onto the boogeyman, you might want to think about what you're doing when you're out there practicing and playing. And you might want to think about, I know it, for instance, when we talked about 2 weeks ago, Jared, we talked about left-handed shooting. We did just a real quick live video with our friend Matt Dorito, and we talked about left-handed shooting and how people never do it, or off-handed shooting, or whatever, shooting with your non-dominant hand. And why don't people do it? Well, because they don't look cool. Their groups aren't as tight, and they don't feel confident doing it. They feel weird or, retarded or whatever, and so they don't do it. Yeah, but is there ever a chance that you might have to do that? Well, maybe, yeah, but I don't do it because it's not. Well, here's the thing. If you want to improve, you need to do what's difficult and stop just worrying about doing things that are, that lead to self-gratification. Jay Nightmare Gibson once made a statement. We were talking about these weird, strange motions that people go through with their guns, especially with rifles. There's more ways to flip and grip and do all this funky crap with the AR-15 that I didn't realize existed. And Jay was on the range with somebody a while ago, and he was doing this like I got one for you, Jared. Throwing the magazines.
Oh yeah,
stupid human tricks. Throwing magazines, literally, I mean, launching empty magazines, throwing them deliberately away from you. Whether you're trying to hit the button and flip that M4 magazine as far away from you as humanly possible. Or I've witnessed people dumping empty magazines from their pistols into their hands and then literally, not figuratively, not hypothetically, but literally throwing them behind them so that they ended up like 15 yards back. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That's what I was taught. You need to get the magazine away from you because you could step on it, and so you need to you throw it away. I'm like, dude, we'll get you another mag, man. Just let gravity take that thing to the ground. And the rifle mag flippers, the ones that like violently flip their ARs in order to make that magazine fly out and go, dude, just hit the button and let gravity pull it out. And you're like, well, sometimes gravity doesn't pull it out. Well, then use your other digits and snag it and pull it out. Stop doing all these like retarded kabuki dance things. Focus on the task at hand. But we do this and we see it and we perform it, and like in the instance of the throwing the magazines and flipping the magazines and all this like retarded horse crap. Jay said it at best. This is what Jay Nightmare Gibson said. He goes, dude, Paul, you have to understand. He goes, that movement, that technique, that's not for the benefit of the shooter. That's for the benefit of the people watching the shooter. So just chew on that for a little bit.
It's not an actual tactic that is used.
It is what you're doing when you do these like weird kabuki dance gun motions. Are you doing that because it's an actual benefit to you, the shooter? Or are you doing that so that people watching you will think you look cool? I'll leave you with that. Stupid human tricks and tactical masturbation. All right, that brings us right to the end of Student of the Gun Radio for Monday. But tomorrow, we're going to talk about how the media covers up for Muslims, lies by omission, and we've got the proof. Yes, we do. We're going to talk about quiet time. We've got a quiet time moment from Silencer Shop tomorrow. We'll talk about children's fables. That should be fun. Should it not be fun, Jared?
It should be fun.
It should be. But until then, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should be a student for life.